chilling and I'm watching TV and I get a notification that my card got used. Look at the date. To the Four Seasons Hotel in New Orleans. Now I know I'm not in New Orleans, right? Okay, so I called him and I'm like, yo, you stayed at the Four Seasons this weekend? And he was like, I did. And automatically you got an attitude. And I'm like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, we cool, you know what I mean? No, we don't go together. It's very clear, you know, but we have an understanding of our friendship, right? Okay. So I said, well, I don't really know what's going on, but Rob said that the hotel said that my card that was clearly used.
And picture this, babe. You finally tie the knot, that dream wedding moment you've been fantasizing about forever. But 2 days later, you're already packing your bags, planning your escape like you're in some twisted reality show. That wasn't a hypothetical for Toni Braxton, no. Sis actually lived it. And now, Tamar Braxton is hinting at the jaw-dropping reason why this so-called happily ever after turned into a total disaster almost overnight. But before we dive head first into the mess, let's rewind the tape and look at how this fairy tale turned into full-blown drama.
You open to finding love again? Is that something that you would be open to?
I am a hopeless romantic. Oh. I love being in love.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get married and walk down that aisle and wear the white dress. I don't care if you're 80. If you want to wear the white dress, wear the white dress. Yeah. I can't wait for that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So you see it happening. I see it in my future, absolutely.
Do you know the man or not yet?
Well, you know, he could be there. He could be right there beside me. He could be somewhere to the left. I don't know.
See, that's why Tony's Tony right there.
Exactly.
You know?
All right, let's be real. From day one, folks were side-eyeing this couple like, huh? Toni Braxton and Birdman as a couple? It was giving oil and water. Toni, the elegant R&B goddess with that soft, sultry vibe, and Birdman, the chain-rockin', tatted-up rap mogul behind Cash Money Records. This man literally built his legacy, flexing whips, cash stacks, and street credentials. So when the two were spotted hand in hand in 2016, people lost it. Some said PR stunt. Others swore it was just friendly industry hugs blown out of proportion. But no, baby, it was real. Toni and Birdman were legit. And just 2 years later, in 2018, boom, he put a massive rock on it, and not just any rock, a $5 million 0 cents engagement ring. Yeah, you heard that right. Toni flaunted it proudly on Braxton family values like a queen showing off her crown. She called Birdman her best friend and praised how different he was from the toxic men she dated in the past. It was giving opposites attract, or so we thought. But Chile, the cracks were forming fast, and we should have all seen it coming.
I am not going to let the devil or anyone, I don't care what they say, what they put out, the battle is not mine. And I'm not even going to address or talk about or fall into the traps of the devil, because I live by the word. And so that's what I'm doing.
Now, here's where things started sliding off the rails. Not long after flexing that enormous ring, Toni went public with some shocking news. She lost it. It had multi-million-dollar rock gone, just vanished like a ghost during a Delta flight. According to Toni, it disappeared from her Louis Vuitton carry-on, and that was that. But hold up. It's Birdman's reaction that really had people scratching their heads. He was too calm, like not a raised voice, not a meltdown, not even a demand for answers. Nothing. Sis lost a $5 million 0 cents ring, and dude basically shrugged it off like she misplaced a Starbucks gift card. Let's be honest, if you dropped $5 million 0 cents on anything, wouldn't you be flipping out? Exactly. Fans clocked that odd behavior immediately. People started whispering, was it even real? Was the ring real? Was the relationship even legit? No new ring followed, no wedding updates. Toni stayed vague AF, using generic phrases like working through things and baby. When celebs say that, you know it's bad. And then, bam, the plot thickened. Turns out Toni and Birdman had tied the knot in secret. Yup, August 8th, they got hitched behind closed doors with barely anyone present. No big ceremony, no glamorous photos, just a hush-hush I do and done. But here's the real tea. Just 2 days later, yes, 2, they were done. By August 10th, it was a wrap. Forget cake leftovers. They didn't even make it through a weekend. The divorce filing didn't sugarcoat it either. It was filed under the term irretrievably broken. Not we're growing apart or taking space. Nope, broken. Dunzo. Shattered glass, no glue in sight. At this point, fans were like, what went so wrong in just 48 hours? Unless something was already broken long before the vows were even spoken. And that's where Tamar's little shady comments come in with a whole new meaning, baby. Because if Toni had doubts from the jump and still went ahead with it, that explains why it collapsed faster than a dollar store wig in the rain. But oh honey, we're not even done.
Was used at the hotel for Mr. Jeremy Robinson and his guest, Miss J. Now, I don't know what y'all want me to do with that. Because when I had asked him about it, you get nasty with me and tell me, go take your meds. So when I posted it, I didn't post it to be nasty.
Just when everyone thought the scandal had ended with a quiet split, Toni did something that had the entire internet screaming, wait, what? She dismissed the divorce out of nowhere. No emotional Instagram post, no Oprah-style sit-down interview. She just pulled a legal switcheroo like, never mind, y'all. Fans were shook. If the marriage was that broken, why call off the divorce? That's when people started connecting the dots. And let me tell you, the conclusions, woof. Messy doesn't even begin to cover it. Some fans started saying it straight up, this marriage wasn't about love. It was a business transaction. One person even commented, it always felt like a business deal to me. Love don't move that fast and cold. Another chimed in, Toni was thinking about security, not butterflies. Can you blame her? And you know what? It might be onto something. Let's not forget, Toni has been battling lupus for years. That autoimmune disease is no joke. It attacks your organs, messes with your health unpredictably, and racks up massive medical bills. So when you're living with something like that, you're not just thinking about flowers and kisses, you're thinking about your future, about protection, about stability. And Birdman, say what you want about him, but he's got money, power, and resources. To some folks, that marriage started looking less like a romantic leap and more like a security blanket. And that, my loves, is when Tamar's cryptic shade started hitting different. She didn't name names, of course not, but she didn't need to. In interviews and random social posts, Tamar started talking about women choosing safety over love, about people who lock down the wrong ones because they're scared to be alone. Like, sis wasn't being subtle. Let's not forget, Toni was the only one in Tamar's circle going through a secret wedding-turned-nightmare at the time. So when Tamar said things like, you can't lock down someone who ain't ready, best believe she was talking about Birdman, period. And just when you thought this love story turned mystery couldn't get more suspicious, it did. Because now the spotlight turned to Birdman's loyalty, and child, the internet was not ready for this can of worms. And not just like homie tight, we're talking daddy and son energy. Like, literally, we all remember those eyebrow-raising moments. Birdman calling Wayne his son, Wayne calling him daddy, and oh yeah, the infamous kiss on the lips. More than once. And listen, grown men can show affection however they want, but the internet, oh, they had a field day with that one. So when Birdman stepped into Toni Braxton's life, looking like a whole rebranded husband material, people weren't buying it. Was Birdman really ready for marriage and commitment? Or was this some elaborate PR play to soften his image, get a little sparkle from Toni's R&B goddess shine? Because let's face it, when you take all the puzzle pieces, the flashy ring that vanished, the rushed secret wedding, the 2-day split, and then the quiet divorce dismissal, it starts painting a picture, and romance ain't the centerpiece. It's a giving business arrangement with bonus confusion. And all this time, Tamar's shade wasn't just entertainment. It was a warning. Sis knew the vibes weren't matching. Her cryptic posts suddenly sounding like full-blown translations of what was really going down behind closed doors. But let's not forget, underneath all the glam, Toni Braxton was fighting a war that most of us didn't even see.
Blocking an ex once you get into a new relationship.
Okay, I'm gonna lose everybody because I don't believe in that.
Okay.
No, like, I still get along with all of my exes. And, you know, I just feel like once you're in a place where you're healed, you can move past all the hurt and just, you know, be nice to people. You know, it's nothing wrong with being cool.
I'm not mad at that.
Now, lupus isn't just a sometimes illness, it's brutal. One day you're performing on stage, the next you can't even get out of bed. It's relentless, it's exhausting, and it changes your life. So when folks started whispering that maybe Toni's decision to marry Birdman wasn't about fairy tales, but about securing her future, it wasn't shade, it was survival. And word on the street is Birdman did step up during her darkest moments. Like when she was hospitalized with serious heart issues and lupus flare-ups, he was there. No cameras, no flex, just support. So at first glance, he didn't seem like the cold-hearted villain. But baby, something changed, because after the wedding, the energy shifted fast, like ghost town fast, and the whispers, oh, they got louder. Multiple sources, including some of Tamar's own circle, started saying Birdman had some kind of emotional freakout right after the wedding. Like he woke up and realized, wait, I'm married to Toni. This is real. And just like that, he dipped, pulled away, went ghost mode on the entire thing. And guess who allegedly spilled this behind the scenes? Yep, Tamar. People close to her say she was telling friends Birdman got spooked, that he felt the whole thing was rushed, too sudden, and that he just wasn't built for it, especially not for a life that involved caretaking, hospital visits, and real grown-up commitment. Let's not forget, Birdman's world has always been hip-hop, hustle, and his crew, not wedding planners and medical paperwork. So when reality slapped him post-vows, he folded, and fast. That's when Tamar's subtle shade started sounding more like blunt warnings in disguise, like when she tweeted, "You can't save a man who still wants to play," over and over again. Fans went into overdrive, connecting every dot, reading between every single line, because no matter how many cryptic quotes she posted, the context always led back to one name: Toni. And just when you thought we'd hit peak drama, think again. Because this wasn't just a one-time fallout. The ripple effect was deeper than anyone expected. Suddenly, Toni was laying low, super low, barely seen in public. Her interviews, sparse. Her tone, guarded. Fans worried. Was she hiding heartbreak? Was she covering up for a marriage that had never stood a chance? Some insiders started saying Toni felt embarrassed, like she let her guard down, trusted someone who wasn't fully in it, and paid the price in public. And who wouldn't? Imagine being a global icon, bearing your soul for love, and getting left out in the cold 2 days after you say, I do. But you know who wasn't hiding? Tamar. Sis kept posting, kept hinting, kept letting people know without ever naming names. It was almost like she was protecting her sister, but also low-key holding Birdman fully accountable. Because let's not forget, Toni didn't grow up rich. She fought her way to stardom, battled bankruptcy, battled health, battled love, and she did it all while trying to hold her family together. And what did she get in return from Birdman? Silence, cold feet, and a ring that disappeared faster than a headline on TMZ. And now, years later, fans still want to know, what really happened? Was this marriage just doomed from day one? Was Birdman ever really in love with Toni? Or was it all a transaction? A brand refresh? A temporary fix to a deeper problem? Tamar clearly thinks it wasn't love. At least not the forever kind. She's been saying it without saying it for years now. And maybe, just maybe, she watched her big sister walk into something that her heart wasn't fully in either. Maybe Toni wanted to believe it, needed to believe it. Because when you've been through what she's been through, the idea of security, stability, and someone staying, that starts to look a whole lot more romantic than a bouquet of roses. And Birdman, well, he played the part. For a moment. But that's all it was, a moment. And as fast as he came in with the $5 million, 0 cents ring, he was out, leaving behind confusion, rumors, and a whole mess of questions we still don't have answers to. So now the question is, did Birdman ever really love Toni? Or did he panic the moment things got real? Was this about love or about legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because, honey, one thing's for sure, this ain't your average celebrity breakup. This was a scandal hiding in plain sight. Scandal hiding in